Hi everybody, this is Roger Nowak with Sigmet Corporation, and today I want to introduce you to a new product from AMX called the Jetpack. Now I know when you hear the name AMX you might start thinking complicated systems, complicated programming. This product is neither of those things. Very simple to use, very intuitive, and it actually is plug and play right out of the box. So let's get started and take a look at how it works. The Jetpack from AMX. So what is the Jetpack? Let's start off with that first. Jetpack is a 3x1 fixed video switcher. 3 inputs, 1 output for video. Also distance transport. It can carry the video as well as USB and control signals up to 70 meters from the input plate to the receiver. It also has bi-directional USB control. It also has a 2-channel 25 watt per channel amplifier built into it. And it also controls ancillary devices through RS-232, IR, and relay. And we'll get to a little bit of how that works and how simple that is to actually put together. But what you get in the box first? First off, you get a 1-gang control panel, volume knob, as well as some controls. You also get your input source plate, as well as the receiver that's normally mounted near the display. On these, you'll notice a bunch of buttons, display on, display off, as well as your 3 different video sources that you can bring in, USB-C plus 2 HDMIs. You also have a system on-off button to shut down the entire system and everything that's connected to the Jetpack. On the input plate, you'll notice we have 2 HDMIs, HDMI 1, 2, as well as a USB-C. They correspond with the control plate, and these are where your video inputs are coming in. You'll also notice that we have a USB host. This connection is for if you're using one of the HDMIs, but you still want to be able to control the USB device that's connected to the receiver. You also have a source select button, as well as an IR learner, as well as an IR receiver. On the backs of them, you'll see on the plates, there is no power supply needed. All we do is daisy chain these from one control port to the other control port, and then another category cable from the AV link connection here to the AV link connection on the back of the receiver. A few other things on the back here. Again, we have a 2-channel 25 per watt channel amplifier. It's only for 4 or 8 ohm. We can't do a distributed system with this one. But that's what we do have the other audio out for. This can be sent out to a larger audio system if this is going to be put into a larger size facility. Also, we have mic or line in. Most likely, say a classroom situation, it would be a microphone being put into this, but any auxiliary audio you want to put into this as an option as well, you can do so here. And again, for classroom situations or anything where there's mission critical at the play, we have remote mute, and this is both direct and inverted direct, and this is for fire alarm systems to be able to mute the entire system in case of any kind of emergencies. Here is your RS-232 connection along with your relay and your IR out. And these are the 3 ways that we actually control other devices. Your relay is there for any kind of shades that you want to have automatically go up or down, maybe a screen for a projector. But the IR and the RS-232 that are there for your display on, your display off controls, as well as some volume control. Now you'll notice the USB device, and this is what we're talking about with the input plate. Any connected USB device to this receiver, whether the display be a touch display and you connect that here, or if there's a web camera attached to the display and you connect that via USB to this. That will allow you, when you are plugged into the USB host as well as an HDMI, or just the USB-C, to be able to control that web camera and make that a part of your laptop when you plug in. So let's take a look at a typical system installation for this. For the wiring, again, all we have are category cables. So we have a category cable going from our control plate to the input plate, and then again up to that AV link port on the back of the receiver. Now we'll take the HDMI out. We want to connect that to a display that would be at the front of the room. USB device, again, probably a web camera. So let's plug that into the USB device. Now we're going to connect our input sources. And usually what would happen is there would be a host computer in the room. This normally you want to plug in with the HDMI and your USB host. Now this computer has access to that web camera, as also has access to any features on the display, again if you're using USB from the display into the receiver. Now if you come in with your laptop, You can simply plug in your USB-C input. You don't have to unplug anything else. It can be set to auto switch. And now that laptop has control over that USB camera, and it is also projecting up to the display. Now you remember we do have that amplifier in the back. And if you just want to have a couple of point source speakers at the front of the room, again, usually a typical classroom type installation, it's perfect for that. But if you do want to go to a larger distributed system, say a 70-volt system with ceiling speakers, or if it's going into a big auditorium where you really need some power going out for the audio, you can do that as well. Alright, so now you know what the system is composed of, and you know what it can do. Now let's show you how to actually configure it. Again, not really programming. This is configuration. Very, very simple. Let's dive in. What you'll see here is the Jetpack's web GUI interface. So this allows you a couple of things. To log in as a user and get some basic video and volume controls, switching sources, that sort of thing, display on and off. We can also go back, log in as administrator. This gives us a little bit more in-depth options such as EDID, HDCP compliance, and then we can actually go into audio and see that we have some of the options, the same options under the volume controls. You have volume as well as your mixing ratio, microphone versus whatever you're using for your audio out. You also notice you'll have audio ducking. We have this as auto ducking too, so you can have that off, low, medium, and high. Remember, we have that mic line input in the back of the receiver. We can also enable or disable the HDMI audio return channel. And then very cool thing is we can select which audio format we're going to have going out. If we want all of them, including the display, the amp, and the line, or we can choose any of the two or any single one of those. We can choose that to be stereo mono. We can throw in amplifier time delays if we need that, and we can choose whether we're going to use 4 or 8 ohm speakers. You'll notice down here how easy it is to create your remote mute action, direct or inverted direct, as I mentioned before. Under control, this is not programming. Remember, this is really configuration. For your RS-232 controls, all you're looking for is power on, power off, and you can get that from the manufacturer of the display's website if it's a commercial display. Very simple to just copy and paste those into there, choose your end flags, upload it. Now if you have a commercial display or you want to choose to use IR, and we include the IR bud for the display inside the packaging, you can again go back to the learning IR receiver that's on the input plate. Click learn right here, and then all of your codes will pop right up for you. And then that's how easy it is to program this. To go a little further, you can throw in what your relays are going to do as far as having a screen for a projector up and down, shades, anything along those lines, as well as CEC commands, RS-232 for your time off, if you want to have this as a automatically turning off system at the end of the day. Speaking of that as well, we have a scheduling feature, which allows you to do auto switching on, off, enable, disable. And one of the cool things also is you can choose which days of the week you want all this to happen, what time of day you want this all to turn on, what your input source would be. So again, if we look back at, say, the educational situation, a K-12 environment, they may choose all the full days of the week and then have everything turn on at 8 a.m., maybe to a different input source like a media player that's being fed some sort of media showing the schedule for the day to all of the different classrooms. Now if we want to go further under network, again we can choose what our protocols are going to be under that. We can go and take a look over here. We are actually 802.1x compliant with this. While this is one of the very few products that is not going to be JITC certified, it is 802.1x for anybody who's worried about network security. Under System, we can come in, we can rename this Jetpack, and we can check which floor it's going to be on, which building it's going to be in if there's a very, very large deployment of them. We can save the configuration we just created going through those tabs, or load one from another file, and then send that out to the Jetpack. We can also reboot it from here and do a factory default if we like to. And also if we do have to do a firmware upgrade, we could do that right here also. Now an easier way to do all of this is if we go into the AMX Jetpack Manager. If we look up under Discover, we can find our Jetpack. It should be relabeled whatever we labeled it over here, and we can actually change that right here as well. and you'll see that change right here. Now this is from my living room, let's just say. So now we can go under control, and again this gives us our basic controls. This is just like the user login that we had in the web interface. We can make our schedule here as well. As you can see, it doesn't give you a lot of other modifications to make on this, so this really was designed as a free software for the end user to be able to control all of their Jetpacks in a large installation. Again, we can do the save and load to configurations, as well as find the Jetpacks and do a firmware update to all of the Jetpacks that are in that installation. And there you have it, everybody. That's the Jetpack. That's how simple it is. Again, from AMX, very simple to use, very simple to install, and the price is fantastic. So again, thank you for watching this video. And if you're one of our dealers, please visit our website, log in, take a very quick 5-question quiz. Very simple. We just want to make sure that you watch the video, and we'll send you out a free gift from JBL. Again, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it.